what are the common statistical terms which we use when we are talking about biostats? First is statistics. What is that statistics? It refers to the subject of scientific activity dealing with the theories and the methods of data collection, compilation, analysis, and interpretation of data. Okay, so when we are talking about the subject, मतलब एक subject जो कि data collection, compilation, analysis, interpretation of data से deal कर रहा है, that is statistics. But when we apply the art and science in it, when we are talking about medical as well as we are applying an art and science of collection, compilation, analysis, and interpretation, then we use the term as biostatistics. Okay, so the data, these two things which one should be clear. What is data? Okay, one is a set of, what is data? A set of observations usually obtained. Okay, basically, when what is data? A set of observations usually obtained by any technique. It could be through survey, it could be through interview, or any technique through which the data can be collected, or any set of observations can be collected. That set of observations is termed as data. So now data is divided into two parts. One is qualitative and quantitative. So you have to remember this. This can be asked in your viva. So basically, as its term suggest what is quantitative, जो कि हम measure कर सके, quantity हो, like quantitative is which is measurable with quantity, okay, and qualitative is in terms of attribute which we are giving. Okay, I'll explain with the example. First, quantitative, it can be divided into continuous and discrete, and the qualitative can be divided into nominal and ordinal. So first, coming to the qualitative data. So qualitative data cannot be expressed in numbers. We are checking about the attribute and we are checking about the quality of the subjects. So it is not measurable. For example, we categorize the religion as Hindu, Muslim, Christian. Okay, so this is not measurable. We are just categorizing it. Then human blood groups A, B, or O. These are like sex, male and female. This is what is qualitative data. Okay, it is as mentioned above, it is divided into nominal and ordinal. Okay, I'll explain आगे. But what is ordinal? जिसमें order हो, ordinal, order. Okay, mild, moderate, severe. That is some having some order. So that qualitative variable is ordinal. Nominal, where there is no any kind of order in it. Like example, male and female. So that is nominal. Okay, in scale, I'm going to tell you. Then coming to quantitative variable. So in statistical language, any characteristic or quality that varies is called variable. Okay, but what is basically quantitative variable? Which can be measured. So it can be divided into continuous, okay, and it can be divided into discrete. So continuous and discrete. So as its name suggests, discrete मतलब जो कि decimal में express नहीं कर सकते. It is only countable. For example, number of family members. It can't be 1.5 as such. तो दो लोग होंगे फैमिली में, तीन लोग होंगे फैमिली में, ओके, या फिर नंबर ऑफ वर्कर्स इन द फैक्ट्री. इट कांट बी डेढ़, इट कांट बी ढाई, it will be 1, 2 or 3. So that is discrete variable. But when we are talking about continuous variable, it can be expressed in the terms of decimal and it can be measured. For example, weight, height, blood sugar, that is continuous variable. So quantitative is divided into continuous and discrete, and qualitative is divided into nominal and ordinal. Okay, so according to the source of data, data can be divided into primary and secondary. So what do we mean by primary data and secondary data? First, primary data, which we are collecting from the field of inquiry. Okay, I went into the field and I collected the data with me or with my support staff. That is a primary data. So for example, I am collecting the blood pressure in a camp organized of elderly. So मैं खुद जा रही हूँ, I'm taking the BP and I'm recording all the data. Okay, so that is measured on BP, weight and height. That is primary data. Secondary data is it has been already recorded somewhere and we are taking it from there. Okay, for example, if we are taking data from census, it has been already recorded by someone and we are taking the data. So we will term our data as secondary data in methodology. So primary data is there and secondary data is there. I think so. This is basic. There is no confusion in this. Then the scales. Okay, there is nominal scale and there is ordinal scale and there is interval and ratio also. So for interval scale and ratio scale, you have to remember just remember that in interval scale there is no zero in it, but in ratio scale zero can be there. Okay, so अगर हम like for example ratio scale में हम दो weights को divide करते हैं, we take out the ratio or we are taking out height and weight. Okay, so that is we are taking out a ratio. इंटरवल हो गया जैसे कोई सेल्सियस हो गया, या फिर मतलब हम किसी रेंज में हम बात कर रहे हैं, तो दैट इज इंटरवल स्केल. बट व्हाट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट इज नॉमिनल एंड ऑर्डिनल स्केल्स फॉर यू. So nominal is used when data are classified by major categories or subpopulation. Okay, so I've already explained nominal जो होता है वो जैसे Hindu, Muslim, Christian. Okay, there's no order in this. Okay, so there are only major categories in this. So whether out of the treatment is cured or not cured. So this is nominal data. Ordinal data is when there is a rank or orders categorized, placed in an order. For example, students rank in the classes, like grading is there. Okay, some order is there, or mild, moderate, severe is there. Illiterate, just illiterate, or literacy status, which we divide. There is some order in it. So when we are talking about ordinal scales, there has to be some order in it. Now coming to the definition. So when we are talking about, like, there are two things which one is sample. मतलब sample क्या होता है? पहले तो ये चीज, we use the term sample lot of times. So what is sample? Basically, if I want to see anything, like if I want to see number of COVID cases in whole Delhi. Okay, and I went. It's very difficult for me to cover whole Delhi and count each number of COVID cases. So for that, I'll take out the sample of Delhi. एक जगह का मैं sample लूंगी and I'll try to extrapolate it into the to the whole Delhi. Though उसकी generalization is poor because हम एक ही जगह से हम पूरे Delhi का categorization कर रहे हैं. But we all know that it's very difficult to take पूरा Delhi का. So we take a representative of the Delhi. Okay, so that is sample, and for that we calculate the sample size. So a finite subset or a part of population, that is sample. Every member of the population should have an equal chance to be included in the sample. Because अगर अगर हम पहले से प्री डिफाइन कर देंगे कि हमें सिर्फ ओबीस अगर हम दिल्ली के हाइपरटेंशन के पेशेंट्स का डेटा कलेक्ट करने जा रहे हैं और सिर्फ हम ओबीस पेशेंट्स को सैंपल लेंगे, सो इट विल बी द डेटा विल बी स्क्यूड, बिकॉज हम ऑलरेडी पहले ही हम उसका लाइफस्टाइल, मतलब वी विल नॉट डू अ प्री सिलेक्शन, we will apply a sampling method, either probability sampling or non-probability sampling. Sampling will be the best because each population will each member will have an equal chances of being selected. So sampling technique will be discussed in later classes. Then coming to the parameter. Okay, so there are two terms, parameter, and there is one term is parameter, one term is statistic. So parameter is whenever we are defining anything in terms of population. जब भी हम किसी कोई भी हम फैक्टर है उसको हम पॉपुलेशन के टर्म्स में डिफाइन कर रहे हैं, दैट इज पैरामीटर. बट जब हम उसको सैंपल के टर्म्स में डिफाइन कर रहे हैं, देन वी यूज द टर्म स्टैटिस्टिक्स. सो इट इज फंक्शन ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशन विच डिस्क्राइब्स अ सैंपल. तो स्टैटिस्टिक्स एक मतलब बेसिकली पूरा पैरामीटर होता है और उसका एक सब पार्ट अगर हम ले रहे हैं और उसका हम ऑब्जर्वेशन नोटिस कर रहे हैं, तो दैट इज स्टैटिस्टिक्स. So don't use the term liberally. Ki a parameter should be applied when we are talking in terms of population, and statistics should be applied when we are talking in terms of sample. So here we can see that statistic or parameter में difference क्या है. When we are talking about mean of the sample, then it has to be represented by x bar. But when we are talking about in terms of parameter of the population, it has to be described in terms of mu. So when you'll be doing your, like when you're doing any kind of study or any research, when we take a subset of the population, for example you are taking 250 का sample size और उसमें से आपने notice किया female सिर्फ 150 है और उसका हमें कोई data collect करना है, तो you'll write small n is equal to 150 and whole capital N is equal to 250. मतलब आपका पूरा population size जो है वो 250 है, उसका आपने एक सब सेट ले लिया, उसका एक sample ले लिया, तो उसका small n use करेंगे. तो people very liberally use these small n and capital N. We have to be specific about it. When we are taking a subset of the population which we have selected, then we have to use the small n, otherwise we'll use the capital N. So अब इतना clear है. Now the next question is, what are the sources of data? So from what are the main sources of collection of medical statistics? कहाँ से हम data collect कर सकते हैं? First, we can do it as an experiment. We can do it as a thesis, scientific paper for publications, any laboratory, physiology, biochemistry, any data which has been described. And okay. So, Ojaswini, okay. So the statistic and parameter mein basically the difference is that when we, for example, let me go back to the slide. Okay. So parameter is when we are talking in terms of whole population. अगर जैसे मैं दिल्ली एग्जांपल ले रही हूँ कि दिल्ली है, ओके, हम दिल्ली के पूरे कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ पॉपुलेशन की बात कर रहे हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल मेल्स कितने हैं, फीमेल्स कितने हैं, एवरीथिंग. सो द टर्म parameter will be used. So parametric quantity of males in the whole Delhi population. बट मैंने डिसाइड किया कि भाई मेरे पास इतना लाइक डेटा नहीं है, या फिर मैं पूरे दिल्ली का कलेक्ट नहीं करना चाहती, एंड आई ओनली वांट टू सी द सबसेट ऑफ, मतलब एक पार्ट ऑफ दिल्ली. फॉर एग्जांपल, आई ओनली वांट टू सी कि विकासपुरी में मेल कितने हैं, ओके, ऑफ दिल्ली विकासपुरी में मेल कितने हैं. तो जो हमारे मेल ऑफ विकासपुरी आएगा, दैट इज डिफाइंड इन टर्म्स ऑफ स्टैटिस्टिक्स. तो स्टैटिस्टिक्स होगा जो सबसेट ऑफ होल दिल्ली के पॉपुलेशन का होगा, एंड पैरामीटर है जो कि हम पूरे पॉपुलेशन के टर्म्स में बात कर रहे हैं. So don't get confused with this. You have to use the term statistics generally when you're dealing with it, because हम पूरे population का generally हम ले नहीं पाते. Always we take a sample. तो जब भी आप अभी calculations भी देखोगे, we will be using X bar everywhere, because हम पूरे इंडिया का लेना हमारे लिए like kind of impossible है. So we are going to take a small subset only इंडिया का. तो हम हर जगह स्टैटिस्टिक के टर्म्स में बात करेंगे. वी वोंट टॉक इन टर्म्स ऑफ पैरामीटर. सो रिमेंबर, स्टैटिस्टिक ज्यादा हमारे लिए यूजफुल है, बिकॉज हम वी कैन कैलकुलेट इट, और हम उसको बेटर वे में हम असेस कर सकते हैं. ओके, फाइन. कमिंग टू sources of data. So we are clear that experiments जो हैं, first when you would have gone to physiology biochemistry department up till now, I hope. तो उसमें आपने देखा होगा various experiments we do, okay, and we try to publish it. So if we are publishing any data which has been conducted in physiology, biochemistry, pharma, or clinical pathology. So that is the source of data will be experiment. So through experiment, they are collecting the data and then they are publishing it. Second is surveys. Surveys हैं जो कि the most commonest, one of the commonest way of collection. For example, in community medicine, we go into the field, we collect the data. For example, I'm assessing कि obesity in rural population कितनी है. So I'll go into the field and I'll check with my like whatever parameter I'm taking, whether I'm taking BMI or body fat percentage analysis. I'll go into the community and I'm going to calculate each and everything. Okay, so I'm going to fill the questionnaire and I'm going to do the measurements. So when we are trying to carry out an epidemiological studies in the field by our trained teams to find out the incidence or prevalence of a health or disease situation in a community, we term it as survey. Okay, so हम generally operational research, just don't go into operational research. Basically, we are trying to provide the trends in terms of health status, morbidity, mortality, nutritional status, anything. For example, even if I'm going and checking out obesity in the population of Delhi, या फिर of any village of rural area Delhi, then we use the method of survey. So basically, we have a time, we get a chance to interact with the community. They give us provide us some feedback, okay, and we understand what are the problems which are going on into the community. So they are the surveys method. Like census is carried out by surveys, okay, because they go house to house and they carry out the survey. Now there is a records part. Then there's like routine registers or books over a long period of time. For example, we have vital statistic records since like अपने India का, in census we have records, okay, 2011 ka, then like 10 years back and so on. So birth, deaths, marriage, hospitalization, the records which we have of vitus, the noted values which we have, that is basically records. So it is clear, I don't have to explain in this. So collected data are basically qualitative. It is in terms of numbers, like discrete numbers. For example, itne births हुए थे, itne deaths हुए थे, and basically it is used in demographic and public health practices. Okay, so now next comes the presentation of data. Now you have the data. So you know what type of data are there. You know it is divided into qualitative and quantitative. You know how to collect those data. You can collect it by experimentation, survey. okay, and records. Okay, you know the ways of collection. Now how you are going to, you have the data, now how you are going to present it. A presentation of data is also important. So whenever data is collected and it is summarized, it provides us a information. अभी अब जैसे आप हो, आपके पास 100 लोगों का लाइक डेटा है किसी चीज का, लाइक हाइट है फॉर एग्जांपल, आपकी क्लास है 250 स्टूडेंट्स की, इसकी हाइट है हमारे पास, राइट? बट वो हाइट जब तक हमारे कोई काम की नहीं, इट इज ऑफ नो यूज टू अस until and unless we will going to present it. The presentation of data is important. We are going to see what is the mean, we are going to see males ka, we are going to see females ka. Until and unless the data is not it is not summarized after collection, it is of no use to us, because when it is summarized we get an information out of it. So for that we have to present the data. So what are the methods of presentation? Basically it is divided into basically tabulation and drawing. So coming to the tabular presentation part, so it will be asked in the we are going to make you solve the exercises for this, plus it can be asked in your exams also. It's a very basic thing and we all have studied it in the UG classes. Let's just revise it. Basically a form of presenting data, UG class in our school days. Okay, a form of presenting data from a mass of statistical data at first frequency distribution table is prepared. Okay, so basically what we are going to see is we are going to quantify the data, we are going to do frequency distribution for it, and we are going to show it in the form of table. So it can be divided into simple table or it can be divided into complex table. So simple table में आ जाता है पहले frequency table. Simple, just we are seeing the frequency or we are seeing the number. Okay, so number of persons in each group is called as frequency of that group. For example, यहाँ पे हमने qualitative data लिया है. Okay, there is no notion of magnitude of size attribute. तो ये जो example है qualitative का है. Example ये है कि number of cases of cancer in stomach 2005 से 2006 में males and females के कितने थे? So it was 17. So 1.8% of total number of cases. So we can see कि यहाँ पे हम ये नहीं देख रहे कि stomach का extent of infection कितना. We are not seeing the quantity here. We are just seeing the number of the cases here. Like stomach के कितने cases थे. So this is basically a frequency table. So when we are talking in terms of quantitative table data, because it is much more cumbersome, as the characteristic has a measure. When my charging is there now, okay, fine. Characteristics has a measured magnitude as well as frequency. For example, in this we are seeing that we are doing this tally marking. Okay, चार लगाते हैं, उसके बाद एक डंडा खींचते हैं, then again 4 लगाते हैं, then एक डंडा खींचते हैं. So this is a way of doing tally marking. You are going to do it in your exercises. Okay, so like 162 आपकी क्लासेस का ये मान लो आपकी क्लास में कितने बच्चे हैं उनका, वी हैव टेकन द हाइट एंड वी आर गोइंग टू प्लॉट इट हियर. सो 160 से 162 कितनी फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ ईच ग्रुप है, इट इज मेंशन. what is the difference we are measuring here? Okay, as you can see we are measuring the height of the participants here, we are quantifying it and then we are plotting it into each. यहाँ पे हम कुछ भी measure नहीं कर रहे थे, we are just seeing कि कितने number of cases हैं. Here we are measuring the height of the height of the participants here, and then we are plotting it here. So this is how you're going to represent the quantitative data when we are talking in terms of frequency distribution. Okay, so basically we need to tabulate it so that we have a summarized data and we are able to provide the information to the community or whoever wants the information. So what are the general principles in designing table? अगर हम कोई भी table draw कर रहे हैं तो क्या क्या होना चाहिए? Very basic, it should be numbered, it should be brief and self-explanatory title, it should be having a title for it. Okay, then the columns and rows should be clear and it should be defined. Data should be presented according to the size of importance, like chronologically, या तो छोटे से बड़े की तरफ जाए या फिर पुराने से नए की तरफ जाए, or either it should be divided alphabetically. So there should be some like order, ascending order, descending order when we are presenting a data in the table. Then it should be presented meaningfully. Table should not be too large. There should be footnotes, as well as total number of observations should be written at the end of the table. Okay, information obtained should be summarized in the table. So basically these are the general principles which we are going to follow when we are making a table. Okay, so frequency distributions we have already seen. Now, what is important is how we are going to divide how we are going to plot the quantitative and data and qualitative data. So दोनों के अलग टेक्निक्स हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम क्वालिटेटिव जैसे हिस्टोग्राम इज एज इट इज मेंशन इन द स्टाइल. हिस्टोग्राम इज फॉर क्वांटिटेटिव डेटा, बट हिस्टोग्राम कांट बी यूज्ड अगर हमारे पास क्वालिटेटिव डेटा है. हम जो ये वाला एग्जांपल था, this one, in this we will not be using the histogram. We are going to use the bar chart here. Okay, so you have to remember कि quantitative data का presentation अलग technique से होता है, and for qualitative data we use a different technique. So what are the techniques for presentation of data when it comes to quantitative data? So first is histogram. So आपके पास जब भी quantitative data आएगा, try to plot it in the histogram. Okay, so there will be an x-axis, there will be a y-axis, and as mentioned in the example, we have taken the height example. So 60 to 65 mean how many how many participants were having 60 to 65 feet height. So the number is approximately 3. So on you have to plot it in the histogram. Okay, so this is clear. Now the second thing is frequency polygon. So you have made a histogram, and if you join the midpoint of each histogram, each bar of the histogram, you will get a frequency polygon. Okay, so an area diagram of frequency distribution developed over a histogram. So midpoints of the class intervals at the height of the frequency are joined by straight lines. So it gives us a polygon figure with many angles. So frequency polygon, agar aapke paas aata hai, you have to plot frequency polygon. So just don't straight jump to the frequency polygon, like joining the points. First you have to draw the histogram, then you have to join the midpoints in it. Then comes the frequency curve. Okay, so if number of observations are very large, okay, if the sample size is huge, like it is in terms of lakhs and like billions, millions, then the frequency polygon tends to lose its angulation. आप यहाँ देख सकते हैं कि इसमें ज़्यादा like number of students नहीं है, like we are taking only 9, we're taking only 13. So there's chances of angulation here. But here we are talking in terms of millions or millions and everything, then the edges will lose and we'll be joining lot of midpoints here. Okay. So generally we get a smooth curve out of it. That is called as frequency curve. Okay. Then comes the line chart. Okay, one is line chart and one is this ogive. Okay, don't get confused between these two. What is line chart? Line chart is a frequency polygon presenting variations by line. It shows basically trends of events over a period of time. For example, you can see the population growth more and less in the developed regions. Okay, जो developed regions हैं उसमें ज़्यादा growth है, and जो less developed regions है उसमें कम growth है. So basically, when we are using a line chart or graph, when we use it, when we try to show a trend of something over a period of time, अगर हम लास्ट 100 years का पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ इंडिया में देखेंगे एंड वी विल प्लॉट इट, देन वी विल बी यूजिंग अ लाइन चार्ट और ग्राफ because it tells us the trend of the change in whatever parameter we are trying to assess. Then the next is cumulative frequency diagram, which we term as ogive. So basically what we do in ogive is, what is important in ogive is that we need a cumulative frequency for it. Cumulative frequency मतलब आप इस वाले टेबल में देखें, it is 1. Then the next frequency is 2. So we are going to add it to 3. So next we are going to add 3 to 2, 5. So we are basically cumulating it and we are going above. Okay. So cumulative frequency, basically when we take out this cumulative frequency and we plot it in a graph, तो obviously as we are accumulating it, तो जो frequency है ऊपर की तरफ जाएगी, right? So basically graph of cumulative frequency distribution is called as ogive. Okay, if someone tells you just plot an ogive, then you have to calculate the cumulative frequency and then you have to plot it in the chart. Simple. Then next is scatter और डॉट डायग्राम. स्कैटर डायग्राम का क्लासिकल एग्जांपल है जॉन स्नो ने जो किया था. जस्ट रीड इट, गो एंड रीड द जॉन स्नो का शू लेदर एपिडेमियोलॉजी पार्ट इन योर पार्क्स. उसने ये किया था, उसने गए थे एंड ही वाज ट्राइंग टू डिटेक्ट कॉलरा केसेस इन द कम्युनिटी, एंड देन ही रिमूव्ड द हैंड पंप्स एंड द प्लेसेस which had polluted water, the cholera cases decreased. So he, at that point of time, he plotted a scatter diagram or dot diagram ki number of cases in those region. So एक dot dot के through we represent it. Okay. So prepared after tabulation means frequencies of at least two have been cross classified shows the nature of correlation between two and same. Okay, height and weight. For example, एक next है जैसे अगर इसमें height और weight का अगर हम plot कर रहे हैं, ओके, सो यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे हाइट एंड वेट एकदम स्ट्रेट, मतलब स्ट्रेट लाइन ड्रॉ कर रहे हैं, नॉट गोइंग इनटू द डिटेल्स ऑफ इट। बेसिकली आपस में जो कोरिलेशन होता है बिटवीन टू क्वांटिटेटिव वेरिएबल्स, रिमेंबर क्वांटिटेटिव नॉट क्वालिटेटिव, अप टिल नाउ व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग इज इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्वांटिटेटिव डेटा। सो दिस इज व्हाट इज नोन एज कोरिलेशन डायग्राम। ओके, आपस में देख लें और इधर वी कैन ड्रॉ अ स्पॉट मैप और स्पॉट डायग्राम। दैट इज हाँ डॉट डायग्राम थिंग, और लेट मी चेक एक बार, ठीक है वही होगा। फिर देन प्रेजेंटेशन और इलस्ट्रेशन ऑफ क्वालिटेटिव डेटा। ओके, दैट वाज क्वांटिटेटिव एंड दिस इज क्वालिटेटिव। नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्वालिटेटिव। Next, the most important diagram when we are talking about qualitative data is that is bar diagram and pie chart. So remember, whenever you have a qualitative data, you have to draw either a bar or either a pie. That is the most commonest which we do. Okay, so bar diagram का ये example है. This is a simple bar. Okay, what we are trying to see is high temperature in 2009. So January में कितना था, then March में कितना था. So we are just seeing कि किसमें कितने कितने ज़्यादा किस month में कितने ज़्यादा temperature गया है. So each bar represents frequency of single category with a distinct gap from one another. You can see histogram it was continuous because we are using quantitative data which is kind of continuous data. So यहाँ पे we all know it is nominal data or ordinal data. So there has to be a gap in it. Then the second thing is multiple bar diagram. So used to show comparison of two or more sets of related statistical data. For example, in this example, what they have taken is Bangladesh ka improvement in infant mortality rate or India ka improvement in infant mortality rate. So for that they have used a multiple bar diagram. कि 1990 में क्या स्टेटस था इन्फेंट मोर्टालिटी रेट का एंड अब 47 इन 2007. So you can see the difference in the you can see the improvement in infant mortality rate. So the parameter was only infant mortality rate but the years were different. So हम आपस में comparison कर सकते हैं. So for that multiple bar diagram is used. Component or proportional bar diagram is used to compare sizes of different component parts among themselves. For example, 1970-71 में कितने आर्ट्स के स्टूडेंट, कितने साइंस के स्टूडेंट और कितने लॉ के स्टूडेंट्स थे in the college. So they have plotted it in terms of proportional bar diagram जिसमें हम proportion represent कर रहे हैं. Okay, next is important is pie diagram. I know everyone knows what is pie diagram, how to draw it. Just remember कि always जब भी आप plot करते हैं pie, remember आपको इस चीज का ध्यान रखना है, the end result should be 100%. Okay, so it should be 360 degree or it should be 100%. ऐसा ना हो कि जब हम total करें it is leading to 90% or 95%. Should always be 100%. Okay, we are taking all the components and we are plotting it, so it should be 100%. So pie diagram everyone knows. I don't have to explain it. Then if you're trying to portray anything in terms of pictures, in terms of pictorial representation, so then you can see that average daily coffee consumption on the world per capita, it is mentioned here, but it is mentioned in terms of pictures. So that then the pictorial diagram term is being we use the term pictorial diagram. Similarly, map diagram or spot diagram is there. We all know map hota kya hai. Like India ka we have all plotted it. So cardiovascular diseases, mortality in different Indian states. Then the map diagram or spot map comes into play. And for that, the Jon Snow example which I was giving, that was, I'm sorry, that this is spot map. That was different. Okay, that was dot diagram. So agar Jon Snow ka example hai, to you'll keep it in the spot map, not in the dot diagram. Now, last coming to the measures of central tendency and measures of dispersion. This is important. The measures of central tendency, we all know when we are talking about measures of central tendency, we are talking about mean, median, mode. Very basic. I expect everyone to know this. Everyone has cleared their exams. Sub school पढ़ के आए. Everyone should know what is mean, median, and mode. So mean जब भी होता है when we sum of the all observations divided by number of the observation, that is what is mean. Okay, so if we are taking ESR of 7 subjects and we are dividing it, जैसे हमने 8 plus 7 plus 9 plus 7 कर दिया and dividing it by 7 because we have 7 individuals with us. So we are getting the mean ESR of the 7 subjects. Okay, so mean, everyone knows what is mean. The problem with mean is that it gets affected when there is an outlier. मतलब in the sense कि you can see इधर 8 7 9 10 77 6 है, राइट. एज्यूमिंग कि यहाँ पे, एज्यूमिंग, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि ऐसा होगा, एज्यूमिंग यहाँ पे वैल्यू आ जाए 1000, okay, and 1000 आ जाए, then the mean of the data will be affected. We all know whatever the mean will come, it will not represent the ESR of other 6 patients, other 7 patients. Okay, so mean gets affected if there is any skewed data or skewed data. If there is any outlier, so the data becomes skewed and the mean gets affected. So in that case, median or mode comes into play, because in that case, if there is any kind of outlier which will affect the mean on a whole, then we use the term median or mode for it. So median, we all know it is the middlemost median. Okay, we have to middlemost value. So for getting the middlemost value, we have to arrange it into ascending or descending order. So after arrange, जैसे ये दे रखा है, we have arranged it into ascending order. So what is the formula for median? We have to add the that is, we have to add the number nth observation. For example, अगर इसमें ये you have to remember कि अगर n odd है, okay, for example 7 है, n is odd number, okay, so 7 plus 1 divided by 2, the fourth value will get, okay, so median will be n plus 1, मतलब 1th observation. So you have to remember that n plus 1 divided by 2, you'll get the median value. But agar even hai, instead of 7 it is 8. Okay, so if you'll add 8 plus 1 divided by 2, you'll get in decimal, which is not correct. So for that median, you have to use this formula, that is n by 2 plus जो n by 2th वैल्यू होगी प्लस n by 2 प्लस 1 की जो वैल्यू होता है उसका हमें मीन लेना पड़ेगा. यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दिस फॉर्मूला. ओके, एंड अगर आपके पास ये क्वेश्चन आता है तो यू हैव टू अप्लाई दिस फॉर्मूला एंड यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट द मीडियन वैल्यू. देन कमिंग टू द मोड, मोड है कि कितनी बार ऑब्जर्वेशंस मिल रही हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू कैन सी हेयर मोड क्या होगा, 7 होगा, बिकॉज 7 इज द मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ, मतलब मैक्सिमम ESR जो हमें मिल रहा है. ओके, 3 इंडिविजुअल्स का हमें 7 मिल रहा है. So the mode is 7. So if the question comes and you have to calculate the mode, you have to see जो सबसे ज्यादा आ रहा है, मतलब जितने भी सैंपल साइज में सबसे ज्यादा जो टाइम्स आ रहा है, that is the mode. So here 7 is the mode. ओके, आई हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन इट. मीन वाला, अच्छा ये मीन नहीं बता, हाँ सी मीन का ये स्लाइड आगे पीछे है. मीन जो है, आई हैव एक्सप्लेन इट कि अगर डेटा स्क्यूड हो, मीन इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल. सो मीन इज फर्दर कैलकुलेटेड इनटू अनग्रुप्ड डेटा और ग्रुप्ड डेटा. ओके, अगर अनग्रुप्ड डेटा है तो सिंपल वी हैव टू सी कि नंबर कितना है एंड फ्रीक्वेंसी कितना है. मीन एंड फ्रीक्वेंसी nth ऑब्जर्वेशन की जो भी हमारी ऑब्जर्वेशंस हैं उसको हम फ्रीक्वेंसी से मल्टीप्लाई करके डिवाइड कर दें फ्रीक्वेंसी, विल गेट द मीन, सिंपल. बट अगर ग्रुप्ड डेटा है, देन व्हाट वी हैव टू डू इज, when we have to arrange the data in groups and frequency distribution, then we have to each जो ग्रुप हमने जैसे 11 से 13 है, फिर 13 से 15 है, या देन 15 से 17 है, तो वी हैव टू टेक आउट द मीन ऑफ, जैसे 11 से 13 का 12 आएगा मीन. ओके, सो ईच इंडिविजुअल ग्रुप्स का यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट द मीन, then you have to multiply it by the frequency. For example 11 से 13 जो है वो 10 individuals के हैं, so the 12 into 10 हो जाएगा, 12 into 10 plus so on, we will be adding and we will be dividing by the frequency. The term which we used is weight mean. Okay, weight mean use करते हैं, ये आएगा नहीं, just it's for information, ये आपके level पे it won't be asked. देन जो मेट्रिक मीन है कि कभी कभार ऐसा होता है कि जैसे अभी मैंने बताया कि एक्सट्रीमली लार्ज वैल्यूज आ जाते हैं, एक्सट्रीमली स्मॉल वैल्यूज आ जाते हैं जो हमारे पूरे ऑब्जर्वेशन को अफेक्ट कर देता है मीन को. तो देन द टर्म ज्योमेट्रिक मीन कम्स इनटू प्ले. Okay, in that case we are going to take the under root of the whole value. Okay, if the nth root of product of the n observations, जो भी हमारा ये वाले जो ऑब्जर्वेशंस हैं उसका अगर हम अंडर रूट ले लें, जो भी हम मीन निकाल रहे थे उसका हम अंडर रूट ले लें, तो देन द टर्म ज्योमेट्रिक मीन्स comes into play. It's not important for you. Okay, but you should know what is mean, median and mode का concept. If you know the basics, you will be able to handle anything. Then comes the measures of dispersion. So what is measures of dispersion? We are able to find out how individual observations are dispersed. कितने वो स्कैटर्ड है, कितने डिस्पर्स्ड है अराउंड द मीन ऑफ द लार्ज सीरीज ऑफ डेटा. मीन के अराउंड वो कितने डिस्पर्स्ड है, देन द मेजर ऑफ डिस्पर्जन इनटू कम्स इनटू प्ले. Okay, it is divided into range, mean deviation, standard deviation, variance, and coefficient of variation. I hope it will be discussed in the subsequent classes by maybe ma'am, but I'm not sure. So मैं अभी थोड़ा सा बता देती हूँ, but I'm just hoping that ma'am will discuss again. Okay, so as the range we all know, it is the difference between the highest and lowest value. Okay, so it defines the normal value of the biological characteristics. Okay, so if we are talking in terms of systolic BP of the medical students, so we have to divide the highest value and the lowest value को हमें subtract करना है, and we'll get the range. Okay, range के बाद आ जाता है mean deviation. So for mean deviation, standard deviation, go and read your Parks. Steps दे रखे हैं, अच्छा सा एग्जाम्पल दे रखा है पार्क्स में, कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं होगा. आई डोंट थिंक सो देयर इज एनी कंफ्यूजन इन दीज टॉपिक्स. बहुत आराम से क्लियरली आपको समझ आ जाएगा वहां से. सो मीन डेविएशन क्या है? एवरेज डेविएशन ऑब्जर्वेशन फ्रॉम द मीन वैल्यू. सो हाउ डू वी कैलकुलेट इट? वी आर गोइंग टू टेक द वैल्यू, जैसे हम जो भी, जैसे 10 है, फिर 11 12 ऐसे करके वैल्यू. सो वी आर गोइंग टू माइनस इट बाय द मीन ऑफ ऑल द ऑब्जर्वेशन, एंड वी आर गोइंग टू डिवाइड इट बाय द number of observations we have. So we'll get the mean deviation of it. Okay. And when we're talking about standard deviation, basically under root of mean deviation is the standard deviation. So root mean square of the deviation is standard deviation. I know everyone has performed this in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, but it's like when we go and we solve the questions, we do, like there's high chances कि हम गलत करते हैं इसको. Okay, you have to practice before your exams. It got an EPID or STATS exercise in your final prop or centups. You are going to get questions related to standard deviation. So you have to, remember each and every step. You have to see the number of observations. Then you have to subtract it by the mean. Then you have to square the whole, square all the observation. Then you have to do the under root divided by the number of observations. If less than 30 values are there, अगर हम 30 से कम का डेटा कलेक्ट किया, तो दिस विल बी, जो डिनोमिनेटर है, दिस विल बी n-1. ओके, सो okay, this will be n-1. Okay, if less than 30 values there, it's mentioned in the Parks, go and read it. These are the steps of standard deviation. As I don't have the board and chalk, and I hope I get a class जब हम लोग solve करेंगे exercise, then the steps of standard deviation can be shown in it. But I hope everyone knows because सबने ये perform किया होगा अपने school में. तो just you have to take the root mean square deviation of deviation. That is what is standard deviation. Okay. Then coefficient of variation is there. What is coefficient of variation? Basically, it denotes the comparability of variance of two or more different sets of observation. So you have to see the formula and you have to remember the formula for it. It is standard deviation divided by mean into 100. So it tells us about the variation or relative variability. Example, अगर कोई किसी का coefficient of variation 60% आया है and किसी का coefficient of variation 65% आया है, fine. So we all know that 65% जिसका है उसमें ज्यादा वेरिएंस है, उनके जो जितने भी वैल्यूज हैं उसके अंदर ज्यादा आपस में वेरिएशन है कंपेयर टू जो 60% वाला है. ओके, सो यू हैव टू the values will be in terms of percentage. Example is given in the books. I remember I got a chance to solve it with the previous batch, your seniors. So there's an example of coefficient of variation is there in it. So when you get a chance of getting hold of that book, and when we are going to make you solve those, then you'll be clear about the concept. Then normal, what is normal distribution? We all know there's certain characteristics of normal distribution curve, and we have to remember those characteristics, and it will be asked in the viva. Okay, so basically normal distribution is a very important concept. When we are talking in terms of plotting the data in a graph. Okay, so quantitative data can be represented by histogram, and by joining the midpoints of each rectangle in the histogram, we get the frequency polygon. This is clear. ये तो अभी हमने discuss किया था what is frequency polygon. So when the number of observations becomes very large, ठीक है, तो frequency polygon smooth curve कहता है, that is frequency curve. That is also clear. So the most biological variables, example height, weight, blood, follows normal distribution, can be graphically represented as normal curve. So what are the characteristics of normal curve? होता क्या है normal curve? So observations of a variable which are normally distributed in population when plotted as a frequency curve, we all know what is frequency curve up till now, will give rise to normal curve. So अगर आपकी जनरली ग्रैंड वाइवा में पूछा जाएगा आपसे कि आप ये बताएं कि आपको नॉर्मल कर्व के क्या क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होते हैं. Okay, so first is it should be smooth, it should be a bell-shaped curve. It should be bilaterally symmetrical. A mean, median, and mode should coincide at a point, and the distribution of observations under normal curve follows the same pattern of a normal distribution as mentioned. Okay, so you have to remember these characteristics, and this will be asked in your viva that what is like smooth. It should be smooth. It should be bell shaped, as well as जो endpoints होते हैं normal curve के never touches the baseline. Okay, so left और right के जो endpoints होते हैं वो कभी भी baseline touch नहीं करते हैं. So these are the characteristics of normal curve. So remember, all the 95% of all the observations are within mean plus minus 1.96 standard deviation limit. Then mean plus minus 2 standard deviation limit includes 95.45% of all observations, and similarly mean plus minus 3 standard deviation limit includes 99% of the all the observations when we are talking in terms of normal curve. अगर normal curve है हमारे हाथ में and हमारे पास एक normal curve है, so these principles are followed कि mean के plus minus 1.96 standard deviation limit में 95% of all the observations will come. ओके, सिमिलरली 99% में इतने सारे ऑब्जर्वेशंस की लिमिट में आ जाएगा. ओके, सो दिस इज ओनली फॉलोड व्हेन द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इज नॉर्मल और देयर इज गॉसियन, यूज द टर्म गॉसियन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इज देयर. Okay, now there is a term which is known as Z value, Z value, or Z value, value, whatever terminology you want to use. So each observation under normal curve has a Z value, a Z or standard normal variate or relative deviate. What is that? It is basically a ratio. It is measure of a distance of the observation from the mean in terms of standard deviation. सो जैसे आपका जो भी आपकी मीन वैल्यू है इन द नॉर्मल कर्व, ओके, यू आर गेटिंग एनी मीन वैल्यू. ओके, सो फॉर एग्जांपल 3 इज द मीन एंड द ऑब्जर्वेशन इज 6. ओके, सो आपकी जो वैल्यू ऑब्जर्वेशन विच वी आर यू आर ट्राइंग टू सी उसका जेड वैल्यू आप कैलकुलेट कर रहे हो. सो ऑब्जर्वेशन माइनस मीन डिवाइडेड बाय स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन विच यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट फ्रॉम द डेटा विच इज अवेलेबल टू यू. So observation minus mean divided by standard deviator, we'll get the Z score. For example, if the Z score is coming out to be -2, okay. So in that case, observation is 2 standard deviation away from the mean on the left hand side because we are talking in terms of negative. If it could have been +2, it implies the observation is 2 standard deviation away from the right hand side. So it's clear from the words which is written in the slide. There should be no confusion in this. Please remember these terminologies. This will be asked in the Viva. So what the graph it is showing, it is showing the normal distribution curve. Okay. So Z is x minus mu divided by rho, जो कि हमने पीछे बात की थी. ठीक है, and as it is a normal distribution curve, 0 is the mean and 1 is the variance. And you have to remember the normal distribution curve में area under the curve is 1. Okay, always remember. I don't know, you have to remember this. There's no option. Mean, median, mode coincide and they are 0. Mean, median and mode basically coincide at the like center ये जो plotted है, and it is 0 and standard deviation is 1. Okay, this is basically we are assuming that it is a normal distributed curve. जब आप normal distributed curve होगा, that means कि दोनों साइड bilaterally symmetrical होंगे, इसके end points जो है वो baseline touch नहीं करेंगे, mean is equal to median is equal to mode होगा, then only these all the characteristics will come into play. Otherwise अगर normal distribution curve नहीं है, it is positively skewed or negatively skewed, then these parameters will not follow it. मतलब ये सारे जो factors हम discuss कर रहे हैं वो follow नहीं होगा. First, all the assumptions which we are talking in terms of normal distribution, ये वाली सारी चीजें follow होनी चाहिए, then only ये सारे factors will follow. Okay, so just remember these things. Last of the slide, that is sampling technique. Okay, I'm not going into details of it because ये शायद classes में discuss होगा आगे. So when we are talking about sampling technique, we have to remember certain definitions, and then like this is the last slide. उसके बाद आप लोग free हो जाओगे. Basically, sampling technique में we are talking in terms of पहले तो universe. Okay, पूरा universe, basically what is universe? Aggregate of units of observation without which certain information, मतलब पूरा population ले लो. Example है, while recording pulse rate of boys in a school, all the boys in the school constitute the population or universe. This is clear कि पूरा जो school है उसमें जितने भी boys हैं वो एक population या universe हो गया. अब आ जाते हैं हम सैंपल पे, अभी पीछे भी डिस्कस किया था व्हाट इज़ अ सैंपल। अब हमारे लिए बहुत मुश्किल होगा कि हम सबका पल्स, पूरे स्कूल के सारे मेल मेंबर्स का हम पल्स ले सकें। सो विल टेक अ सैंपल आउट ऑफ इट। सो अ पार्ट ऑफ द टोटल पॉपुलेशन सिलेक्टेड इन सम मैनर। फॉर एग्जांपल, हमने पूरे 10th स्टैंडर्ड के बॉयज का पल्स ले लिया, तो इट विल बी अ सैंपल ऑफ द होल पॉपुलेशन। Okay, then there is a term, sorry, M is missing, sampling frame. Okay, what is sampling frame? Basically, it is a frame, ठीक है, या फिर एक लाइन लिस्टिंग टाइप जिसमें सारे सैम्पलिंग यूनिट मेंशन्ड है। ओके, सो कंप्लीट नॉन ओवरलैपिंग लिस्ट, बेसिकली वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट सैम्पलिंग फ्रेम, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द लिस्ट of all the sampling units of the population from which the sample is to be obtained. So हमने हमने पूरी एक लिस्ट बना ली, that is the sampling frame। उसमें से हम सैंपल ले रहे हैं, तो we'll make a list of all the 10th standard student जितने भी sections हैं, like for example ए बी सी डी तक लेके सेक्शन हैं, ए बी सी डी के सारे बॉयज की हमने लिस्ट बना ली। सो जो लिस्ट होगी दैट विल बी द सैम्पलिंग फ्रेम, और उसमें से हम सैंपल उठाएंगे। अब सैंपल उठाने के डिफरेंट टेक्निक्स होते हैं। ओके, सो इट विल बी डिवाइड, स्टैटिस्टिक वी ऑल नो, ठीक है, अब डिस्कस हो चुका है। अब सैम्पलिंग टेक्निक्स क्या है? इट कुड बी प्रोबेबिलिटी सैम्पलिंग और नॉन प्रोबेबिलिटी सैम्पलिंग। ओके, सो ये एग्जांपल्स हैं, एंड आई डोंट नो, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू डिटेल, बट मैं आपको वैसे एक्सप्लेन कर देती हूँ। देयर इज नॉन प्रोबेबिलिटी सैम्पलिंग एंड प्रोबेबिलिटी सैम्पलिंग। सो नॉन प्रोबेबिलिटी सैम्पलिंग जो होता है, व्हाट इज द एडवांटेज ऑफ इट? इट इज वेरी इजी एंड इट इज वेरी लेस एक्सपेंसिव टू परफॉर्म। सो आराम से हम कर लेते हैं, बट प्रॉब्लम विद दिस इज दैट the information which is collected, it is not like presumed to be the representative of whole universe। जो भी हम सैंपल इसे निकाल रहे हैं, we can't extrapolate it into the whole population। For example, the examples I have mentioned in the slide, no, the non-probability sampling की techniques क्या क्या होती हैं? एक one is snowball sampling। Okay, in snowball sampling generally जो prostitutes होते हैं, if we are trying to check the STD के cases हम prostitutes में देख रहे हैं जाके field में। So one prostitute will tell about the other prostitute which is there, then second prostitute will tell about the third prostitute। So there will be a snowball rotation in this। एक बंदा दूसरे का बताएगा, दूसरा बच्चा दूसरा पार्टिसिपेंट तीसरे का बताएगा। So that is an example of non-probability sampling का एक method है, that is the snowball sampling। But whatever the results we get, we can't extrapolate it into the whole population because हमें हमने कोई sampling technique एक्सेस लगाई नहीं, हम एक से पूछ रहे हैं, दूसरे से पूछ रहे हैं, so it will not represent। I'll explain the probability sampling techniques also। So non-probability sampling के और other subtypes क्या है? quota sampling होता है, एक convenience sampling होता है, और judgmental sampling होता है। ओके, सो ये एंड में मेंशन्ड है, कन्वीनियंस सैम्पलिंग, कोटा सैम्पलिंग, पर्पसिव सैम्पलिंग और जजमेंटल सैम्पलिंग, स्नोबॉल सैम्पलिंग and case study। So these are the examples of it, and just remember, this is not this, whatever the result we are going to get from this sampling techniques, it won't be the representative of whole population। तो अब हमें क्या चाहिए? हमें ऐसी सैम्पलिंग टेक्निक चाहिए कि हम जो भी सबसेट ऑफ सैंपल हम जैसे हम 10th की जो हमने सैम्पलिंग फ्रेम बना लिया, अब हमें ऐसा सैम्पलिंग टेक्निक लगाना है सो दैट व्हाटएवर रिजल्ट वी गेट, it will be basically a representative of whole school population। So for there the probability or random sampling comes into play। what is there that samples are selected from the universe by a proper sampling technique। इसमें हम एक sampling technique लगाते हैं and each and every member of the population has an equal probability of being selected। So this is an advantage of probability sampling, that each and every member will have an equal probability of getting selected। So this can come as a short note in your exam, sampling techniques, and it's beautifully given in parts as well as just read it, it's very interesting topic you will be needing in your PG life also। It's a really important topic। Then comes the simple, it's further divided into simple random sampling, stratified samplings, then there is systematic, then there is cluster, multi-stage and multi-phase। So I hope ma'am will be explaining these things, but still मैं बता देती हूँ, simple random sampling के दो तीन techniques होते हैं। For example, अगर आप lottery method लें या chit system लें, 6 चिट्स डाले हैं, उसमें each chit has an equal probability of being selected। So one example is chit system। Okay, second example is random number table। random number table is given at the end of the parks में end में दे रखा है, उसमें हम select करते हैं participant through simple random from the random number table। So second technique is this। third technique is कि हम computer से अगर बहुत ज़्यादा sample size है, it's very difficult, we can't use the chit
chit na, we can't make 1,000 ka chits and then we are taking out the all the chits. Their computer system comes into play. हम randomly computer में से select करते जाते हैं. So these are the techniques of simple random sampling. Second is stratified random sampling. What is stratified random sampling? We divide it into strata and we take out the like for example, आपकी क्लास 100 की है, उसमें 60 मेल्स हैं एंड 40 फीमेल्स हैं, एंड वी आर ट्राइंग टू टेक आउट हीमोग्लोबिन ऑफ 10 इंडिविजुअल्स इन द क्लास. हमें सिर्फ 10 लोगों की इंडिविजुअल की एचबी चाहिए. सो आपको पता है कि 60% या 60% बॉयज हैं, 40% फीमेल है. दैट मीन्स 60% मतलब मेल्स ज्यादा है. बट अगर हम 10 लोगों का सैंपल ले रहे हैं और उसमें हम मान लें 7 फीमेल ले लें और 3 मेल ले लें, इट वोंट बी अ रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ द क्लास, क्योंकि एज वी ऑल नो कि मेल्स ज्यादा है. बट अगर हम फीमेल्स का हीमोग्लोबिन निकाल के एवरेज निकाल देंगे, दैट मीन्स इट वोंट रिप्रेजेंट द पॉपुलेशन of the class. So we divided into strata, 60% 40. Then we are going to take 6 male and 4 female out of it. तो 10 हमें ऐसे सैंपल साइज मिल जाएगा. So we in stratified random sampling basically we divide into strata and जो भी उसका sample size होता है उसके हिसाब से we calculate हम जो भी निकालने की कोशिश करते हैं. For example, this can be of Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, and the strata can be there and the population we can see and the representatives can be defined from there. Then systematic sampling is there, in which and we have to calculate the sampling unit in this, and then the nth value we are going to select here. This is basically a controversial topic because in Oxford जो public health की book है हमारी, वो ये कहते हैं कि systematic sampling में we already know कि 10th value or 20th value or 30th value we are going to select. So how can it be a probability sampling? Because you know इसमें हम पहले से predict कर सकते हैं कि जो 10th individual की turn आने वाली है, 20th individual की term आने वाली है. बट जब हम इसका फर्स्ट स्टेप करते हैं, वी रैंडमली सिलेक्ट 1 to 10 आउट ऑफ इट, लाइक 1 से 10 इंडिविजुअल्स में 6th इंडिविजुअल में सिलेक्ट कर लिया, एंड देन वी आर गोइंग टू ऐड 10th. 6th के बाद आएगा 16th, देन 26, देन 36. सो एज पहला स्टेप जो है उसमें हम रैंडम मेथड लगा रहे हैं. सो आर पार्क्स consider it into probability sampling only. So you have to keep the systematic sampling in probability sampling only. Then there's cluster sampling, which we apply in the immunization technique, that is 30 into 7. Then there's multi-stage and multi-phase. Multi-stage का classical example is census. There's India. India में से we have states. States में से we have districts. Districts में we have villages. So there's multiple stages involved. That is multi-stage sampling. Then multi-phase sampling comes into play. इसका example है tuberculosis. First we are going to do Monto test on the whole population. फिर Monto test में से जो selected है उसमें we'll do the sputum analysis. Then उसमें से जो selected है then we'll do the chest X-ray, because we don't have the money, resources and power to do chest X-ray of 1,000 or 10,000 population. So पहले हम एक phases में जाएंगे. पहले हम Monto करेंगे, then we'll do the sputum, then we'll do the like X-ray, so that the load can be reduced overall on the diagnostic department. So that is it. Like it's over. The class is over. I hope like it was a simple presentation, and I hope everyone has read it. मतलब जो अपने यूजी क्लासेस वगैरह हैं उसमें उन्होंने, यूजी कह रही स्कूल डेज में आप लोगों ने आई होप ये रीड किया होगा. ओके सो